Should the Raiders draft Jalen Milroe if he's available between rounds 2 and 4? He's one of the most athletically gifted quarterbacks ever. He's like the modern version of Cordell Stewart. He was a 2-year starter at Alabama, and for the first half of last season, not only did he play like the front runner for the Heisman Trophy, but he also looked like he was a sure lock for the first round. But then, once you got to the second half of the Georgia game, he just didn't look the same, and his play dropped off tremendously after. But if you have a guy like a Chip Kelly that specializes in getting the most out of uber athletic quarterbacks, think about what made Chip Kelly such a big name when he first established himself at Oregon. You know, it was an offense that was fun to watch because of how explosive the run game was, not just because of the running back play, but the athletic quarterback play that Chip Kelly always had. Marcus Mariota, you know, some of the most athletic quarterbacks in the history of college football have played for Chip Kelly. If there ever was an offensive coordinator who could find a way to build an offense around the skill set of Jalen Milroe with how gifted of a runner he is, because if he doesn't work out at quarterback, I definitely would try him out and a Taysom Hill role. You can line him up in a bevy of different positions, tight end, running back, in the slot. This guy is a real animal when he gets the ball in his hands and he decides to take off. He's the equivalent to a running back. He's really big. He's built like a middle linebacker. He knows how to make you miss with elusiveness, but he also can run you over as well. And what made Jalen Milroe, before he dropped off during the second half of last season, a draftable option in the first round, was due to how accurate he was at throwing the deep ball. Now, his deep ball accuracy was a lot better in 2023 than what it was in 2024. But if you can hit the deep ball with that amount of accuracy and you have that kind of arm strength, why is it that you can't get better at working the quick game? That's the thing that has frustrated me with Jalen Milroe. How do you throw the deep ball better than you throw routes that are closer to the line of scrimmage? You know, it never made sense to me. And there have been times when Jalen Milroe has been able to put it all together as a passer. There's been times when he's gone through his progressions. He's gone through his second and third reads, but he just hasn't done it consistently. And if he's not operating out of a clean pocket and you get a lot of pressure on him, you rush his decision making, he ends up being a quarterback that only can rely on his athletic ability to win games. At the next level, he has to be able to win with his mind. He has to be able to win from within the pocket somewhat. He doesn't need to be an elite pocket passer or elite thrower of the football to have a successful career. We saw Cordell Stewart be a Pro Bowler, make it to the postseason with the Pittsburgh Steelers, despite not being that good of a thrower. You know, they say it's a passing league, but you could have an elite rushing attack with Jalen Milroe. You don't need this dude to be throwing for 30, 40 times a game to win. If you can ask him to throw for 18, 20 times, and you have an offense that's predicated off the run, you can win with this. As long as you allow him to sit for at least 2 years to develop. This is not somebody that you just sit for a year and throw into the starting lineup. This is somebody that is a project. It's going to take more than a year for Jalen Milroe to become a competent starting quarterback in the league. But I don't think it's impossible to develop a quarterback. Hell, the Green Bay Packers have done it 3 times. If you can develop Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and Jordan Love, then, I mean, there are teams out there that can develop Jalen Milroe, and the Raiders definitely are one of them. I mean, at this point, if you can't come away with any of the top quarterbacks in free agency, or even if you do, let's say you do sign a Sam Darnold or Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers in free agency, if you're signing somebody that you don't know just how much good play you're going to get out of them at the quarterback position, why not kick the tires on a guy like Jalen Milroe? And if he doesn't work out, it's not like he can't be an asset for you with this athletic ability. There's just so many different creative ways that Chip Kelly can get Jalen Milroe involved. I would love for the Raiders to draft him. he doesn't need to be a first-round pick. That would be a reach. But if he's there round 2 or round 3 or 4, go ahead, kick the tires. If you don't really have a long-term option at quarterback, the NFL draft is extremely random. Jalen Milroe isn't like Lamar. He's not the passer that Lamar was coming out of Louisville. But to me, I think he's a better prospect than what Anthony Richardson was coming out of Florida. You got somebody that has started 2 years in the SEC, one of the toughest conferences in all of college football. He's won games. He took Alabama to the college football playoffs. He had a good game against Georgia twice. So it's like the experience is there. You're not getting somebody that's uber raw like Anthony Richardson was. Like, hell, if you were to ask me to have to pick between Jalen Milroe and Anthony Richardson coming out of college, I'll go with Jalen Milroe. The experience, he's a better thrower than what Anthony Richardson is, more accurate. The Raiders should go ahead and maybe entertain the idea of getting Jalen Milroe. If they can't come away with any of the top 2 quarterback prospects that they want, or somebody that's a good long-term option for them in free agency.